What would you do if someone gave you £90, 90 Great British pounds? Personally, I'd learn to walk fluently on all fours, buy a load of cheap steak, strap it to myself, and pretend I'm a naked cow for Halloween. But what if you're in the market for a small family SUV? Well, you could use that £90 to upgrade from the basic petrol version of the new Citroen C3 Aircross to the all-electric version. The electric version is only £90 more than the petrol version, but is it a good car? In this video, we're going to drive the petrol, the hybrid, and the electric version and tell you. Yes, that's right. This is the new C3 Aircross. And if you want it in its most basic manual gearbox petrol engine form, it's going to cost just over £21,000. But you can actually get a 7-seat version, a very tiny one, admittedly. Now, obviously, this electric version is £90 more than that. If you want the top spec electric version like this, it's still only £23,600, which makes it one of the most affordable family EVs on the market. Now, this is an SUV that's aggressively affordable, and that does mean there's nothing particularly trouser exciting in the powertrain department. You've got 113 horsepower of electric power going to the front wheels, and the choice of either a 44 kilowatt hour battery or a 54 kilowatt hour battery. The smaller battery will get you 188 miles on paper, the bigger battery closer to 250 miles on paper, and that bigger battery version is £2,000 more than the prices what I just said at the start of the video. Hopefully you can do the maths, and I hope you're keeping up. Whichever one you pick, you can charge from 10 to 80% in just over 25 minutes. Despite being cheaper than a date with cameraman Ollie, it doesn't look too affordable. You've got 17-inch alloy wheels on all of them, LED headlights on all of them, and it looks very similar to the C3 hatchback that came out at the start of 2025. You can actually change the colour of these little bits here. They're on the back doors as well, so you can personalise it yourself after you've bought the car. This Elixir Red is £1,000, so that's quite expensive. That's quite a big percentage increase of the car's price. The free colour is quite a dashing baby blue. I just think it looks quite rugged, quite robust, and not like a cheap car. The old C3 Aircross was quite a bit smaller than this new one. This has grown in length by 30 centimetres. It's now 4.4 metres long, which is getting on for kind of Nissan Qashqai sort of size. And they've done that so that they can offer this with 7 seats in it. But it's not heavy. With the smallest battery, this weighs 1.5 tonnes. With the big battery, it's just over 1.65 tonnes. And if you get the petrol version, it's barely 1.2 tonnes, which is good. And hopefully that will pay dividends in terms of efficiency. But yeah, it is reasonably tall. It's nice and boxy and square, which should bode well for fitting tall bald men in the back. Sounds like someone's profile on a dating website, but it's not. It's a car review. Pay attention. Around the back end of the C3 Aircross, you've got C-shaped LED lights on this top spec one. You don't get LEDs on the entry-level one. In terms of towing weights, 350 kilos on this entry-level battery one. If you get the bigger battery one, 550 kilos. On the petrol, it's 1.5 tonnes. On the hybrid, it's 1.25 tonnes. Probably too many numbers there, to be honest. You get a reversing camera on all of them and rear parking sensors. And on the top spec one, you get front parking sensors as well. But let's talk about the boot, because it's huge. 460 litres of space. This boot floor is in its lowest configuration here. You can pop it up really easily. Yeah, nothing hard about that. And now you've got a nice flat load lip there. I should point out that if you get the 7-seater version, you actually only get a 330 litre boot with 5 seats in use. If you use 7 seats, it drops down to 40 litres, so just beware. But that's the same for all 7-seaters. You lose a ton of boot space when you're using the rear seats. But as far as small SUVs go, it's pretty blooming practical. Before we get on to the rest of the review, you might be wondering why this was in the boot. Well, this contains the service booklet. Normally that would live in the glove box, but because it's a half-width glove box in this car, this doesn't fit in it. So it goes in the boot. My favourite thing about the new C3 Aircross is its interior, which Citroen says is designed to give you lounge vibes. And it kind of does. You've got cloth across the dashboard there. You've got these memory foam topped seats, which are super comfortable, and they're heated in this version as well. They've stolen the small steering wheel idea from Peugeot, the Peugeot iCockpit. So you look over it at a digital dashboard set in the bowels of the dashboard, and that's just quite a simple monochrome affair, but it's always in your eye line. It shows you your range, your speed, your battery charge, and all that good stuff. This top spec one has a wireless charger down there as well, but you've got cup holders, you've got a slidey back and forwards, but not really tilty armrest there, a USB-C there, and yeah, it's all right. And this USB-C up here, kind of, I don't know where you would put your device when you're charging it really, because that shelf's not quite deep enough, I would argue, to rest a phone on. But otherwise, it's a nice, practical, fun interior. The worst bit is these rather egregiously sickening, frankly, red tags on the doors. This one says have fun. That one says be cool. No, I don't want to be cool. I want to be me. It would in fact be very uncool if I didn't mention the infotainment system. You get a 10.25-inch touchscreen in all of them, which is quite slow to respond and feels quite last gen, but it has got wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. And actually the CarPlay is something that's been quite unreliable, but I'm sure when it works, it's great. And it has worked a bit. It's nice that it's wireless. Backseat space in the new C3 Aircross is pretty good. That extra long wheelbase compared to the old model has paid dividends in terms of knee room. Foot room is just about okay and headroom is fine because we've got that big boxy shape. The only thing is, it's a reasonably narrow car, so though you've got a wide middle seat and no lump in the floor, you're still going to be physically close to the person you're sitting next to. But the ISOFIX covers are easy to find. They are behind zips that do feel a little bit flimsy, but I'm sure they're fine. But what's quite good is the doors open really quite wide, so getting a child seat in and out is going to be easy. Now, as I said, you can get this as a 7-seater version, but not the electric version. That's 5 seats only. And in the 7-seater version, these seats are a bit further forward to accommodate the rear seat passengers, so we'll cut some really undignified shots of me sitting in the third row of seats in a car that's only 4.4 meters long. It is still a small car. Those rear seats are gonna be tight, but this is what I look like. Right, let's go for a drive in the Citroen e-C3 Aircross, and I have to say, this car is to sportiness what I am to breakdancing, but that's a good thing. This is set up like a proper old school French car with softness and gentleness baked into its very camembert-y core. That means it's not very fast. 113 horsepower and a 0 to 62 time of 12 seconds mean it's very relaxed, is a nice way of saying a bit lethargic. It will actually only do 89 miles an hour, this electric version, but it does get up to motorway speeds fine, and then you get a bit of wind and road noise, but it's nothing that's going to annoy you. Secondly, the suspension is nice and soft, and it's got hydraulic bump stops on the suspension to really cushion the blows over potholes and things like that. And it's a cheap way of making it comfortable, but it works pretty well. It's not an exciting car to drive by any means, but nor is it uncomfortable. And these seats are pretty blooming good as well. The view out the mirrors is good. The view out the back is not bad either. It is genuinely easy to live with, which is impressive because so many cars feel like tanks these days. And you've also got a physical button down here to turn off the speed limit warning and the lane assist warning. Cruise control too. You've got traffic sign recognition as standard, so it's always going to flash up and tell you what the speed limit should be. It's kind of got everything you really need, which I don't think is bad for £23,500 an electric version. That's the EV. I'm just going to say a quick word on efficiency. This is saying I'm getting about 171 miles per full charge, which works out at about 3.8 miles per kilowatt hour, which is not bad. But if you want to go further, also you've got that bigger 54 kilowatt hour battery option. Anyway, what about the petrol version and the hybrid version? I'm going to quickly drive those and tell you what they're like. Okay, quick switcheroo over into the hybrid version of the C3 Aircross. So it's no longer an e-C3 Aircross, and this uses a 1.2 litre petrol engine and a 28 horsepower electric motor for a total of 145 horsepower, which means it's the fastest version of the C3 Aircross. So you're going to get from 0 to 62 in just over 10 seconds, and it feels far peppier than the electric version, which is not often the case. So I've got a 6-speed dual clutch gearbox, which is doing a great job of just flicking between the ratios. And this one's been averaging about 45 mpg with some lead-footed journalists driving it, which I think is pretty good going. Normally a mild hybrid like this is just basically a petrol engine with a tiny amount of electric help. But this is quite a powerful 48-volt mild hybrid system, and you can feel it kind of filling in a bit of torque low down, and you can actually hear the electric motor working away as well. So it's a really good combo, this. The only downside is it makes it the most expensive C3 Aircross. This one, top spec max with the mild hybrid system, is over £26,000. So about £3,000 more than the small battery EV version, which is a bit of a shame because actually this is the one I would pick. Citroen would like me to say that this mild hybrid, because it's got that more powerful motor, it can drive on electric power more of the time than most mild hybrids, but it's still really only at very low speeds. You're not going to be doing journeys on electric only power. That motor is mostly there to work with the engine at all times. Now, if you don't want to spend 26.5 grand, the cheapest C3 Aircross has a 1.2 petrol engine with 100 horsepower and a manual gearbox, and that can come in at 21 grand. I've driven that. We're not going to have time to film it. it's okay, it's fine. It's quite a bit more sluggish than this hybrid, but if you want to keep the price down, your insurance down, and just enjoy driving a low-powered manual SUV, which I do, then it's not a bad choice. But anyway, let's head back to me on top of a hill for a conclusion.
Entre les doigts, je te glisse entre les doigts.
Much like a fixed economy, we started this video in the red and now we're finishing it in the deep, rich hues of Montana green. C3 Aircross is actually a really attractive car. It's really well priced, it's really practical. The 7th seats are slightly not as useful as you might hope, and you've got no boot space when you're using all 7 seats. But it's a back to basics, tastefully trimmed and comfortable SUV that actually really speaks to me. Yes, the electric version is slow and can't go that far on a charge, but this hybrid version, although it's most expensive in the range, is a really compelling family car with a big boot space as well. So yeah, it's a really good all-round thing. I'd be very surprised to be standing here saying that, but here we are. Anyway, thank you for watching my forehead. If you've liked this forehead, please consider giving it a thumb up like that. Subscribe to my Motorpoint YouTube channel because we have more new and used car reviews coming very soon. And go and follow us on social media as well. That's my nose. It's time for everyone to go. If you're not watching this, no one's watching this. If you're still watching this bit, leave the word unicorn in the comments.